Okay, YouTube, welcome back to some more Europa Universalis IV as we pursue our Luck of the Irish achievement. Go ahead and load this up and get going. Last time we had just started exploring. We'll continue that when that gets repaired. Which is coming up. It's coming alright. This says revolts. No, there we go. I had a feeling that was going to go away. Okay, so I know we mentioned it last time, but a lot of waiting and doing nothing. This was, I think, the hardest thing for me to get used to. The first time I played a Paradox game, which I believe was CK2, if I'm not mistaken. That whole, I looked at like the speed thing, and I was like, well, I don't want to set it for high speed. I don't want to miss anything. But the thing is, with Paradox games, the speed is there. Because sometimes you want to be slow, but most of the time you just want to be fast. You need to kind of power through. They're very epic games, they have huge time scales. So if you didn't play them on high speed, you know, for long stretches, then the game would just take absolutely forever. And I find I tend to play on speed 5. 3 prestige. The revolt risk isn't going to affect me, I don't think, so I'm going to take that. Yeah, like I was saying, if you don't, but I mostly play on speed 5. Every now and then I'll go down to maybe speed 4. Sometimes I might back it off a little bit more than that as well, but generally speaking, I'm speed 5, speed 4. There we go, we got our 50 prestige, gained stability. Since I'm at neutral stability, I'm actually going to reduce my inflation with my power points. Okay. And I'm continuing to explore, keeping an eye on the health of my ships, the strength of my ships. The condition is probably the best way to put it, although I wonder what technical term is that Paradox uses for it. I'm going to call it the condition of my ships. Usually when it drops below kind of 85, I'll start heading home. It's kind of a good number, I find. You might think, well, shouldn't you go to 50? But the thing is, you take more attrition the longer you're away from a friendly port. So I find, like I said, below 85, I can get home reliably. You can push it. You could probably go down to the high 70s or maybe even the mid 70s, but I tend to use below 85. I start turning and heading home. Even at 85, I'll start heading home. I will take the extra prestige, it's not that expensive. Okay, here we go. And in case anyone's wondering, the plan is to get the overseas exploration idea, and then backtrack and get up to Diplomatic Tech 7. That will give us everything we need to start expanding. Once that's done, I actually ignore Diplotech again and plow through these because I want the other free colonist, the second free colonist, as well as the permanent casus belli against pagans. The next set of ideas I go for, I mean, it would be great. I don't know if anyone's noticed this. I believe it's pretty new. They have mission now where you could switch to a merchant republic, and I would absolutely love to do that. But if you look at what's required, you need to have trade and economic ideas, and that is not something I'm going to be focusing on. Right, so I'm going to go for expansion to get an additional colonist and an additional merchant, and then I basically ignore expansion after that. I might come back to it at some point, but none of these ideas are that great. You know, the casus belli against the less advanced Asian cultures will be very useful late game, assuming we're still expanding and moving towards Asia. But it's not really a big focus for me. I would much rather keep going unlocking more idea groups. I have some diplomats doing nothing. So let's see, that's less than 80. That's kind of, if it's 80 or more, I kind of don't bother. I figure that's pretty much max relations. I don't worry about it. If it's less than 80, I didn't look at Portugal. Steel we were getting close to. Ooh, look at that. Do we not have... We have the alliance with France, and we're close to the alliance with Castile. It's very interesting. If we get that royal marriage, we might be able to get an alliance with Castile even though we're allied with France. That'd be very good. So I'm going to start working on relations and see how that goes. Alright, this guy back. Let's go back down here. Lots to discover there along the coast. We missed. We only have one maneuver. Practically useless. Although, better than the 0 maneuver we had, I suppose, right? No decent mission there. No, not discovering anything along the way. I should say discovering very little. It is picking up the odd kind of province. Call from Castile. Still at 93, that's good. Let's go to Castile and see. -2, it's very close. It is very close. If only they would not be neutral, we would be all set. And I do have the relations to spare now as well. And now apparently we're getting a revolt risk. Yeah, I don't want to have to worry about if rebels pop up, so I am just going to expend my military power to deal with that. Did discover Campeche now. There's kind of this one in the corner. I'll maybe pick that up later though, I'm not too concerned about it for now. I'm going to try and collect stuff on the coast of the US here. It's nice when there's a 3 maneuver because you pretty much gets these every time. You know, 2 or 3 passes and that's it, you discover everything. At 79, I'm not even gonna risk trying once more, I'm just gonna head home. And we'll actually take a look at what condition we get home at, just to see what I was talking about. -2. If I can actually get diplomatic reputation, which I can't. If that had been a diplomatic reputation, every guy there we could have an alliance with Castile. And they are not even rivaled with France. We vote neither Castile or France like Aragon, they could be friends. I'm going to go ahead and start improving relationships with Denmark. I might as well, I really have nothing. I might as well use my diplomats. He got home, he had more than 50%, so he probably could have kept exploring, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. All diplomat from Scotland, upgrade our military, and I'm going to go with longbows just because I'm in the British Isles. Longbows are pretty traditional. I don't plan to make much. I don't really plan on going to war anytime soon still, so I've got lots of time. Okay, working towards our exploration, raising our prestige. It's going pretty well. You can see we're up to 67 already. Our legitimacy has gone up by almost 1 year. Here we're losing the prestige anyway, so I'm going to go for the admin power. Drop this back below 50, but that's alright. And this will be the last month where that's fully repaired. Excellent. I should come back out here now. So yeah, this is kind of all that's going to happen for the next little while is exploration. I've got to collect prestige, explore. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe you only get prestige if you're the first one to discover it. So I'm just going to try and do as much exploration as I can. Plus, this is the stuff that I'm the most interested in. You know, I'll eventually, once I've done all this, I will eventually move on and start exploring kind of the northern coast of South America and the Caribbean there. But for now, I'm mostly worried about the US. So I'm going to keep going here. I'm glad we found Staticona, that's an important one. The 2 that I really want to focus on, I shouldn't say 2, it's kind of more than 2. The way that I play this colonization game and moving my capital, I don't like moving when I have nothing. So what I want to do, ideally, is get 4 provinces in the 13 colonies in North America, 4 provinces in Canada, 4 provinces in the Caribbean. Once I've done that, I feel like I am poised and ready to move my capital and then start expanding. The reason I mean, you gotta go with 4 as opposed to more than 4, because at 5, you form a colonial nation in the New World. Only in the New World as well. You don't have to worry about, you know, you get, oh, well, then once I start conquering, you know, England, then I'll have 5, and then I'll have a colonial power in Europe. It doesn't work that way. You only get colonial powers in, at least I don't think it does. You only get colonial powers here in North America, in the New World. Ah, excellent. I kind of cheated there and stayed a little bit longer. I don't know if you noticed on my ship condition here that I normally would, but I really wanted to kind of discover that, and since I'm heading towards home anyway, I figured it would be fine. Oh, and look at that, we found some more stuff on the way. Excellent. So yeah, I don't want to form a colonial nation, but I'd like to have as much income over there as possible, because in order to move, I've got to release all these vassals again. Your capital has to be isolated to be able to move it. So I'm going to lose out on a lot of income when I get ready to move. So I'd like to have as much income as possible over there. And I find 4 in each is just pretty good. Usually by then I have 3 merchants as well. That allows me to collect merchants in each of the 3 areas where I have provinces. And generally speaking, I find I start making, at that point I'm making pretty good money. I'm well set up to kind of progress and advance as a colonial only, as a New World only nation. Prior to that, you know, it's a little iffy. There may be some things you need to do, you know, some areas where you maybe need a little bit of work, but once I have the 4 in each, I find I'm in good enough shape that my economy is strong enough that I can kind of just progress that way. And I don't really do a lot with the Caribbean. I don't really care about expanding through the Caribbean. I like to get some provinces there because it puts pressure on the European powers to start colonizing the Caribbean. I find if you only colonize, and this could just be, you know, anecdotal, this could just be all in my head and not an actual reflection of reality. But I feel like the AI kind of understands when you're rushing for something. So if you start kind of pushing hard to colonize, like the US, and the AI starts colonizing the US. So by starting to colonize the Caribbean, I'm kind of fooling the AI, and they're going to start colonizing the Caribbean. And that's fine, because they can have the Caribbean. My focus is going to be the US, absolutely. Or North America, I should say. I like Canada as well. Simply because I find if you can manage to block the AI out, which is tricky to do, but if you can manage it, you can become very powerful. You don't really have to worry about anybody kind of competing with you. I'm just going to do one more. That might be risky, but again, I'm fairly close to home compared to normal, and I think that'll work out. There's my last idea that I'm going to worry about until I manage to get my colonial range up, which will require level 7 diplomatic tech. And even if you get the advisor for 20% colonial range expansion, I find you still don't have enough to do it. You still can't expand without tech 7. I know some people said, oh, you can do it before that if you get the advisor, but I don't find you can. Every time I've been in this position before, and I've had the advisor available, it hasn't been able to make me expand without tech 7. I've always needed to get that tech level 7. Alright, waiting for this to recover before we can go explore some more. And the explorer just died. Okay, well, let's just see. Look at that, we got 2 maneuver, that's excellent. Excellent. Okay. 5. 35. Done improving relations with Denmark. Okay. Steel, has our trust gone up? It looks like it might have a little bit. And I'm curious, because we're so close, I realize my relations are really high already. I'm going to try them, improving them some more. just to see what happens. -2. 5, one more month, we're ready to go. Stop with Portugal, that's fine. Castile besieged by France. So this is the problem. It looks like, Castile. Ooh. Second French conquest of Charleroi. Yeah, that's up here somewhere, isn't it? So are they allied with Burgundy? They are. But I don't foresee Castile going to war with France directly, personally, so I think this will still work out. Well, my ship has recovered. We'll send him out before we end the episode, but then we're going to end the episode there. I just wanted to get him moving, get my ship moving, so that as a reminder to me that that's where I was. Alright. So that was bad. We got a lot of exploration done. We've done some relations improvement. It's interesting to see how things are developing here on the mainland. You can see that it looks like Avignon has actually grown. I have never seen that in all my time playing EU4. I have never seen Avignon grow as a country. And that might actually, if you're looking for a challenge, that might be a good one, maybe to play as Avignon. I've always been interested myself in playing, over here, where are they? Here, the Knights. I always thought that would be an interesting country to play in. I did notice there's one Let's Play up there, at least, about it. But I always thought they'd be a nice challenge as well when I feel like I'm ready for a challenge. But for now, I'm quite happy just doing the achievements. But yeah, we've done a lot of exploration, we've done some relations work. Next episode will probably be more of the same. We probably have, I would guess, at least 2 or 3 more episodes with nothing but exploring and improving relations. But at least we have a level 2 maneuver explorer now, and that should help things along. But we'll pick it up next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. So long.